Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like Rumble is booting on up. YouTube says it's booting on up. It is. Twitch is booting on up. Twitter is... looks like Twitter is as well as Kick. Looks like everything's good to go. Give me a moment to turn on my live chat windows. Oops, looks like the last session's still online from yesterday. Looks like everything's going good there. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good there as well. Give me a moment to open my drink. My apologies if you hear it. Always if it's too loud and you hear it. And yep, I think everything is good to go. Oh, just need to bring my notepad of replays I have would like to do today. A lot of good ones I found today, so Control V. I don't know why Control V just takes a moment. It's sort of weird. Either way, let's get started. Bit there, and there we go. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue Snowwind, we got Benchwarmer number 2. Spawn on the left side as the red Wayland, we got Caparo. Wayland, of course, is buff from the Cartridge counterparts. He does follow the new Rebellion Army's minus 30% or 30% boarding cost to radius 30-60-60. He is the Defense Air CEO, as a stated, plus 10 for all units, plus offensive defense, and all areas get additional plus 20% offense and plus 40% defense. So any air unit within CO zone gets additional plus 50% defense. And of course, his CO power provides a plus 10 global, plus 20% offense global, and a staggering plus 300% defense, resulting in at least what? Minus, I think somebody said to me, is like minus 75% damage received. So it does not make him bulletproof, just very bullet resistant. And we got, of course, the custom CO, Snowwind. Snowwind is what I like to call as the Paratrooper CO. She has 40%, 50% boarding cost. Blah, I'm just butchering all my words today. A very small radius of 1, 30-60-60. And this is quite a bit here. I shall go a little bit slow and start explaining it. I think she also got a bit of a balance work, because now it says air units. Before, I think it said all units. That could have been just a error in translation. Either way, unloading units in CO zone get 1 health recovery. And that says all units, and not to mention all units will also get 1 fuel, 1 ammo. So effectively, it's an APC. She herself is an APC with a bit of health regen. And I'm pretty sure it does consume resources. Doesn't specifically say, I'm pretty sure it does. Air units get 30% offense and 30% defense. Probably a good idea to load herself in the air unit. When an infantry/mech unit is produced from your property, the property gains no production status for 1 turn. In addition, the number of properties within the no production status is not greater than 1. Don't worry about that. Suitable locations need to meet all your following conditions. It allows her... Okay, I think she had a bit of a balance change, but I am pretty sure some of this wording got changed. Effectively put, Every time she's able to forward deploy infantry and mech units around her CO zone, or into her CO zone, effectively around her. It allows her to forward deploy infantry and mech units. That's why I call her the paratrooper CO. And now she has additional air benefits rather than all units, meaning it's more like an aircraft paradrops in an infantry unit and or mech unit. Her CO power is, of course, all unloading units get +1 health recovery and ammo and fuel. I'm pretty sure that is free. All air units get +30/+30, and you get a missile silo that does 5 damage to units, and the greatest accumulation of value. So you get a pretty strong, not necessarily a Sturm Meteor, but very good missile strike there. And let's see here. Or you can go for, do note this is the same cost here. You either choose a CO power or a Zoo power. Any air ground unit can get the forward deployment there. So forward deploy out any air unit or any or a base factory unit. And suitable positions adjacent to a CO unit, even though there's no CO zone, as I mentioned beforehand, it still has to be required to be adjacent to the CO unit. So allows her to this superpower allows her to forward deploy everything. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. So you got the Air Defense CO versus the Paratrooper CO. This map is also a custom map, like probably most maps in the game. You're going to see the no production status, even if there's not any CO zone, it still applies no production status. The no production status means the factory is consumed, and so you just can't spam a whole bunch of units around her. You still have to consume a factory in order to forward deploy a unit. You have infantry push up north and down south for the properties. Both players do have a property and opponents on the map. This is a 3-base map. 2 airport map and technically 2 seaport map. Though the amount of shores here, it is only meant for landers and gunboats, and basically mobility, not any sort of naval play. Though a battleship here wouldn't be half bad, and could escape on out by deploying out a temporary seaport there, but there's double shore here, so it's still hard, can't enter. In addition, there's shores all across here, except for here, so there's a lot of traversable land there. You see here, Snowwind has now loaded herself up into a bike. Now she's able to forward deploy infantry units. Let's keep an eye around the bike here. You see here, an infantry unit did get forward deployed from this base here. And it seems like it can only be done once, but I'm not so sure. Oh yeah, if I probably slow down and read it, it requires you to forward deploy something when you have no production status on the field. So in theory, if you pull out anything, it will put no production status, denying the usage of forward deploy. So you probably have to first forward deploy the infantry unit there. She's being quite aggressive there. She can either interrupt her own capture, or deploys a mech there. Ooh, this is the paratrooper style I've been mentioning. Now there's a mech there, so could interrupt her own capture to get a shot there. Onto the mountaintop there. Give her 4 defense stars, and the radar station does provide 3 defense stars, so it won't be too particularly great. And the thing is, well, if Weyland charges for the mech or the tank, which will be out of range, still have to be careful about now the forward deployed mech. So yep, I hope my explanation is easy enough to understand. Just think paratrooper and able to forward deploy 1 infantry unit or mech unit per turn. So she's probably honestly the best mech commander in the game. Tank, recon, and another mech there. And do have a Weyland tank on the field. His tanks are nothing too particularly fantastic. And the amount of infantry on the field, battlecopters would be quite nice, though dusters wouldn't be half bad against infantry as well for Weyland, if he just wants to fly around and just start picking off infantry units. but Dusters are relatively expensive. I think Dusters are too expensive. Not saying I should say they should be cheaper, like the Tiny Wars should make them cheaper, but it's more of a, if there's ever a Advance Wars Days of Ruin 2, how I could get cost reduction. And looks like the veteran tank, and not to mention +10/+10 status, did manage to get a good... That was just not a good engagement there for I still win. She took more damage though, because after all, Boris, remember in Days of Ruin, provides 3 defense stars rather than 2, and Cities in Days of Ruin provides 2 defense stars rather than 3. So not too particularly great engagement there, but she can always try forward getting some more healing there with her CO zone. Not to mention Max. Wayland style pushing up north, some infantry units there. Recon here. There's now a battle cop in the field. And now Wayland has a battle copter. He does pull back the tank there. Multiple battle cops in the field, which would give credence for Wayland to go for CO himself into a Duster. This temporary airport could be quite nice for either player to capture. After all, forward healing for aircraft would be very nice. Provides no income, of course, nor production capabilities, but forward healing is quite nice, and of course forward resupplying. Of course, Snowwind has her resupply aura and healing aura. This tank, I'm not sure if we go up to 8 or 9 next turn. It's on top of the city. Right now, Wayland does 23,000, Snowwind's at 22, detonates his own gunboat there, and the battlecopter could be CO'd there if he already had a CO already on the field. Another battlecopter, and looks like Wayland's just bringing the wave of battlecopters. Anti-air infantry. And now we've got a T-copter there by Snowwind. Maybe she's trying to seize the cities down south. Would pay dividends. Forward deploy a mech there. And the tank was healed up to 9, so it did actually stack. I know Calder's healing aura doesn't stack. I wonder if it does charge. I think it should, as a balance reason. Anti-air battlecopter, and detonates her own battlecopter or gunboat there as well. And looks like he does put the lander on top of the shore there, just to make it issues where the T-copter can't land right there, which will also force the T-copter more north. Maybe in the range of battlecopter, doesn't look like it though. This plot being to try and be a little bit annoying. I fully support. Wayland's engaged in the mountainside there, interrupts the capture of the radar station. Radar stations, as I think I may have not mentioned, or does provide income. A lot of special properties in Advanced Wars Wide Web doesn't necessarily give income. In Days of Ruin, you have a pretty good safe assumption will provide income, unless it's a temporary port or seaport. This battlecopter, of course, we have +30/+30 here. So Wayland's battlecopter may have a bit of trouble, though he could try charging forward his command tank there to get a booster strike onto it. Yep, you can see the T-copter move on top of the reef. Anti-air battlecopter tank. Lander does move down south. I think as well, the T-copter could just stay on top of the shore, denying the Lander capability from dropping something right there as well. It looks like Wayland just pulling back a little bit there. T-copter mech infantry, battlecopter infantry. Like I said, I disagree with that placement of that T-copter. I really do think it should have been on top of the shore there. Though I suppose the infantry unit would get strafe if it was on top of anything else. So now the infantry is out of range of the battlecopter. Snowwind's heading down south. We got a bit of a stalemate going on. We got 8 energy versus 22 energy, so Wayland does have a good amount of energy stored on up so far. I think as well, if Wayland decides to take out Snowwind's command bike, she will immediately be resealed into the Battlecopter. Wayland, of course, is now in the same position as well. Battlecopter tries to strike the T-Copter rather than... Well, of course, it was out of, like I said, it was out of range infantry units, so might as well. And T-Copter is somewhat trapped there. Battlecopter does strike the lander there, and infantry unit gets on top of short and 9 mobility to the lander. Battlecopter anti-air, infantry, and artillery. And looks like this Snowwind decides to go for first strike on the infantry unit there. Battlecopter should just probably take a shot there, and the infantry should be able to finish it off. Artillery and the auxiliary. Nice line of mechs there. Artillery, and Battlecopter, and 4 deploying, I think, a mech. And decides to take out there, giving the veteran to the Battlecopter there. Space and sacking the infantry unit there. The infantry unit could just stay on top of the city, get slowly repaired on up, and just protect those properties. Both sides creeping the way forward. Wayland right now has 25,000, so does Snowwind. Yeah, both sides just posturing up. I have no idea how this game will go. Right now, Snowwind has 176,000 field. Wayland has 100 and ends the turn with 192. Gone for Battlecopter mech, infantry, Battlecopter, artillery. If Wayland's able to get his seal power, his Battlecopters would be very bullet resistant. Anti-tank. Looks like Snowwind's going to try to be a bit defensive, may park on top of the city there. There's a lot of infantry there. Don't think the anti-tank is actually a great option. Of course, it will take a bit of time there as well. It's a wheeled unit, and the 1-2, its movement speed's not great. Battlecopter takes up the T-Copter there, giving it Veterancy 2. Infantry unit decides to load up inside the lander. It looks like Wayland's going to put a bit of pressure there, which may force Booty Rack. If she overacts too much, she could already lose the game because it's a big setup there. And it's a possibility any one of these gauges, either of these seals could get their superpower, though Snowwind's aura is pretty small. And she only has 8 energy right now, while Wayland does a 22 energy and has this 2 aura radiance. So it is possible that Wayland could get seal power if the fight starts getting quite hot. It looks like the infantry unit there will get the capture, will get the flip. Anti-air Battlecopter, and a forward deployment of a mech. A lot of mechs in the field. Mechs counter everything, but they get countered by everything. So a chain of mechs like that is Won't be quite of an issue. Weyland can start pushing some battle cops there to try to gauge his infantry there and try to seize these properties. He has now a slight income lead. This temporary airport is neutral for both sides, which could make a difference. Looks like got the infantry unit there does get interrupted. Artillery in range to protect the radar station. And we do have Duster deployed by Weyland. With the amount of battle cops in the field, it does make some good sense. As I mentioned, it's still perfectly fine versus infantry and versus mechs. Takes out that infantry unit there. Mech can't seize the radar station. Of course, it means the mech will be in range of the artillery piece, and vice versa. Or deploys an infantry unit. It looks like Weyland's also was at 51 units, now 50, so I'm not sure what the unit cap is in Days of Ruin. Most time, unit cap's usually 50 in most Advanced Wars games. That's simply not the case here. Battlecopter, T-copter, infantry, and anti-air. We're then starting to put some pressure over here. Looks like Weyland's overall just backing off this region. Does have some anti-airs to work with. T-copter, not T-copter, Duster advancing. But Snowwind has a good amount of anti-air in this region. See 5 anti-airs. Not to mention a good number of battlecopters. Missile there. Honestly, a missile's not too half bad in this situation. It's a standstill, and it is fighting against Weyland. Just make sure the missile stays away from around any sort of civilian airliner. And oh, I didn't realize that Weyland's gone for rocket. In this standstill, rockets wouldn't be half bad to help push these units away. Okay, I'll see how much damage would it does do to a infantry unit there. 50%. Another rocket by Weyland, anti-air infantry. I actually somewhat agree with the rockets. It allows you to start putting pressure on your opponent with a less risk. It'll just take a bit of time to get a front line. Notice that the front lines may collide over here until you're still in range. My apologies, my commentary is not too much. It's like, I have no idea what to say. It's just it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. We may see some conflict down here. Red will get the first strike. Rocket's out of range. Looks like Snowwind does go for a rocket of her own, and now it's Waylon's turn. Strike the infantry unit there. It looks like Waylon's actually being defensive. He's actually withdrawing, not attacking. Both sides does not really want to commit. They are not confident to push forward. Waylon probably should start trying to have a CO unit next to some rockets and try to get some CO charge like that. Because if he gets a CO power, his air units will be able to withstand a counterattack quite severely. Waylon has now to put out a bomber. Waylon's right now his income's 316 on the field versus Snowwind's 195 of day-to-day income. So it looks like Waylon is that's still pretty even. The differences are quite negligible at this point in time. So she has now got another 15 energy from 8, and she goes for a regular fighter, which is probably not a bad idea. There's a lot of air units for it to shoot down. It'll also be useful engaging the bomber. So yeah, what is the unit build limit? 60 versus 61, now 60 versus 60. Waylon does get some small strikes here, just trying to prevent the captures. Maybe Waylon could try pursuing this radar station, but it'll be in the range of an anti-tank and a rocket, so probably not a good idea. And goes to his own fighter. I understand it's for engaging the fighter. He also provided some fire support. Mech infantry. Snowwind's advancing with some infantry units. Does get some energy charge there, very good. And looks like Snowwind is just advancing, takes out multiple units, strikes the rocket as well. She finds an opening, but will it be enough? It's going to be a big slog. Waylon may be able to get his superpower charge the next turn. Won't be able to. We'll have to acquire him moving his CO tank, but getting that charged up would allow him to effectively get a double turn, at least for his air units. Can't let Snowwind get her superpower or power charged up to get that missile, because that would just cleat through a formation of his. And she's just front shifting everything down south. Rocket and missile may just want to stay up here to provide some covering fire in this region. Tank there. Battlecopter anti-air. Waylon's turn. So this is going to be the big turn. Should definitely eye to get that CO unit in range to start getting some power charge. Max Battlecopter takes out the infantry unit there. Takes out the infantry unit there. There's a Battlecopter on top of the HQ, so she can get a forward CO unit. So maybe ready not to kill off the CO unit. Good strike there at 32 energy. He will get his superpower charged up this turn. battle cup's getting low in fuel, and does get supercharged, so now he has a max set aura there, giving a lot of extra defense and offense to everything. Plus 10 for all units minimum. Duster right now is at plus 35%, plus 50%. Bomber nukes the unit there. I have a feeling... Yeah, I have no idea how that's going to go. Snowwind has a lot of mechs, has a large line of battle copters behind here. I don't think she can get a superpower this turn. She has a very small aura. I'm not sure CO's unit's not necessarily combatant. She may at most get a charge turn, but I don't think she's going to be able to pop her CO power this turn. Because effectively she can attack here and here. Not really even there. Yeah, I don't see her getting 39 energy this turn, even with moving CO unit. Wayland made its move. Did she just delete a unit there? Something exploded. She does move her CO unit. Multiple units starting going down, take some damage. Rocket fires. Infantry finishes off the infantry. ATR finishes off the infantry. Mech takes out the tank. What's left of it? Fighter nukes the unit there. Duster does take a beating. Does hit the Duster there. Does not manage the bomber. And looks like Wayland's CO unit does manage to go down and puts a round in the fighter. So both the Duster and the fighter are knocked out, leaving Snowwind's fighter of complete air supremacy. Though we do have potentially 5 health anti-air to strike it, and the 3 health the fighter to follow up with it. And Wayland has a T-copter on his HQ, which maybe he has to CO the T-copter. Definitely a strike. I bet that's half joke, half seriously, and it is serious. He has to get the CO unit pushed forward. He also has to take out this CO unit there. He cannot eat a 5 damage missile. T-copter creeps its way forward to provide some aura benefit to hit that fighter. Rocket is in range of some stuff. Does sack the fighter there. Anti-air. Couldn't that anti-air hit that fighter? Must have been just out of movement range, because it should have. Rocket strikes the anti-air. So that unit there, push it forward, trying to pick off some of these outlying units there. Missile will get a shot. Fighter does go down, allows the bomber free of reign. Takes the battle cup there, strikes the unit there. Managed to get a full CO power charge. So the T-copter will fall back next turn and get the charge going. Takes out the command bike, that's critical. Even throwing some tank and machine gun rounds to the battlecopters. There's a good chance the T-copter may go down. It's not very well protected, but he mainly did it for his aura benefits, which it was very successful. Okay, let's see. Wayland ends the turn of 276. Snowwind starts the turn of 174. She took a beating, but she's not out of the game just yet. She can CO her battlecopter and will be effectively in total plus 50, 50, plus 50. Strikes the bomber, merges the anti-air. Merges there, takes up the Duster, or anti-air. Merge there. A lot of merge in there. Aircraft carrier? Is this a sort of resign play? Yes. I paused right before the resign. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Oops, I keep on hitting that button. Instead of resist pause game, is this some sort of resign play? Resides. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn bottom left side as the red Tabata, we got Yukazi. Spawn top right side as the purple Judy, got Ari, 32. Either way, when it comes to COs, Tabata's unchanged. Tabata's unchanged from the cartridge, 50% boarding cost, 0 radius, 30, 60, 60. And all units get plus 60 offense and defense. Of course, she does also for a superpower, gets that globally, and get a Stern Meteor. Judy, of course, has a reduced boarding cost of 30%, 3 radius, is no expansion, no max energy, and does provide all units plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, as well as get you 30% salvage. No power, nor superpower. Between two COs, Tabata has... Judy is one of those COs that can be loaded up with anything, just get generally good value in return. She can either be put on a fast light unit there to get a lot of salvage going, or be put up into a tank and obtain the salvage herself, because it'll still be a CO unit. Tabata does have a bit of a unique way of... She has like 3 phases when it comes to her power and CO zone, because initially it only affects herself, making her a powerful assassin / duelist. So once she gets 3 kills, then she gets +1 radius. That allows her to be herself be a wall break. She can charge forward, smash through the first line of wall, and that +1 CO zone allows a unit to come up and support her and take out another unit. And of course, if she gets her fully CO zone fully or CO power fully charged, she gets to summon a nuke, a Stern Meteor, in the form of Firestorm Missile. We do have a base skip there with a bike. We could seal the bike, maybe not. Judy doesn't really care what she gets sealed on, like I mentioned before, and so she doesn't have to worry about during the seal power charge. Of course, any seal unit gets max efficiency, which is always very nice. Hence why she can load herself up into a tank and then she directly obtains the salvage. But of course, the more expensive the unit, the more expensive the boarding cost is. So there's always an argument to be made for go for a lighter vehicle in some cases, especially when she's supposed to be more economical. But a CO tank is still very effective. Bike infantry. This map does offer is a 3 base map, 2 airport for each side, as well as 3 seaports for each side. You're likely to see nobody get anything from the seaports. There's also a pair of comm towers in the middle. One's more towards one side than the other side, but they're still contestable. Oh, got double base skip into tank. That's all of our monies. So if you want to get out the tank sooner rather than later, probably melee CO into it. Tabata can make any unit an immensely powerful unit. CO'd? Yep. Now the tank gets +80, and it's on top of 4, so 3 defense stars. So this tank is absurd. And of course goes for triple infantry this turn. Recon pull in the field, and something I should mention as well is slow exiting your base. You got shore into forest. There's a forest on each exit, so wheeled units are particularly hard hit. Remember as well, Days of Ruin, your wheeled units do take 2 movement tiles on a beach or shore, same as planes. So the slow going, unlike in say Advanced Wars by Web and Dual Strike, and I think also 2 and 1. Where shores are basically perfectly fine or equal to roads in most matters when it comes to wheeled vehicles. And Judy loads herself up into Battlecopter. Not a bad idea. Battlecopters are mobile, and their counters are usually limited to an anti-air. And with our cast vision, we know that Tabata doesn't have a counter to it at the moment, so that's actually a very good call. More expensive than putting up into a tank. Potentially has higher rewards. Tabata's command tank that was going to Central City so far spots a whole lot of nothing. I don't think Magenta has saw the tank creeping into the city as well. T-Copter, tank, recon, infantry. There's some cities along the corner, so a T-Copter wouldn't be quite ideal. Up, she spots it now. Judy gets a great first strike there, as well get some salvage. A very, very good first pick there. In fact, Tabata has nothing on the field to stop the command copter. She may go for Duster this turn. Tabata got caught with her pants down. Falls back to the city. Is she gonna go for a Duster? Battlecopter does go for a Duster. Yeah, and forcing a Duster like this, it's right now very well in Judy's favor so far this game. Does get a strike there. Tabata has a very good amount of force of infantry here. Flare is a very nice unit. Battlecopter gets a bit of salvage there. Takes out some of these outlying units there. Very nice. Get some salvage there. Looks like the T-Copter's mean to drop infantry unit over here, I'm guessing. We got Judy Duster there. Very good call to engage one Duster. Tabata's right now is at 10 energy, got 1 damage on the Battlecopter, and now 9 damage there. Looks like she needs to get up to 8 health to reliably one-shot infantry units there, and that's also on the road, so probably needs a little bit more as well. So one more turn of repairs would be quite good for Tabata. Battlecopter, bike, infantry, tank. Good strikes over here. A lot of targets for Tabata's command tank now. Duster here has been spotted, but it's out of range of the command copter. Tank, anti-air tank. Flare is fired. Tabata Gales get a kill there at 19 energy. So right now Tabata probably needs 2 more kills before she can get her +1 CO zone. Anti-air Battlecopter, infantry, artillery. Nice little pick there. Though right now Judy has nothing in this region to really stop all the armored assets and Duster. Though, this Duster, is that in range of the other Duster? Yeah, she could get first strike on the opponent's Duster. That is going to be massive. And does get first strike there. It's going very much in favor of Judy. Tabata's first anti-airs are very far away though, about 3 turns before we can engage something. And I mentioned Tabata's command tank does take a strike there as well at 22 energy, so she needs 8 more energy for this +1 CO zone, and that's not going to be likely at full health. Judy's taking some pretty sizable victories here. Join captures there. Flare strikes Recon, and infantry unit does some rounds there. Strikes the command copter there, and Judy's command copter will get shot down. And Judy got to be very careful. Let's see. You can predict how far away an anti-air could possibly for reinforcement. After all, if you look at the base locations, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have a good guess that could be anti-air right here, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you know the anti-air could reach this city next turn if you don't have vision in this region. So if you want to take out this Duster, you should attack from here or here, and not here. Because sometimes you just have to assume that there is an enemy around every single corner. We've got another Duster now in the field, which will reach quite far, so this Duster could be shot by the other Duster. You can make a safe assumption the opponent doesn't go another Duster, but in this case, Tabata has gone for another Duster, which she may seal herself inside this Duster, or no, she still has this one command tank there alive. And this is also the one spot I would say is a bad idea to put Duster, since it's a good idea that a good chance that could be anti-air could hit it. So it's also hit the battle copter rather than the other Duster. So I suppose it's anything to put and make note of. This is a mathematically a bad spot to put your Duster. Granted, also the other Duster would have been in range either way if she did strike this one, but this is also now the anti-air get a free shot there. Command tank gets a good shot there, getting a +1 CO zone, and now this infantry unit could be hit with booster strike there by the infantry unit as well as by the Duster there, so she could be up to 40 energy this turn. Nice recon pass there. Down spot up here, looks like Judy still has pretty good presence up north. Judy right now has 99,000 field. Tabata has 108, so it's turn-to-turn difference still. 25,000 versus 25,000 now. Try and do a flip. Anti-air can be right there. Has a lander, maybe a little bit too early for landers. Landers are very nice to push the units forward. Allows you to get like push units 2 turns faster. Also good for medium tanks and other slower units. After all, medium tanks are 1, 2, 3, 4, and they can't spend their 5th movement there, so they're slow going gain on out. So this may be time for a medium tank. Does go for triple tank, which is still quite reasonable because tanks are tanks and tanks are good. Both players now put a infantry on the side to capture these cities. The Wound Duster is going for a recon pass, very nice. In which this Duster is out of range of the command copter. And right now, Tabata's at 46 energy. Though it would be a good idea to not spend her superpower until she thinks she wants to nuke. And plus global plus 60 plus 60 is very powerful as well. Effectively making your army nuke everything, become bulletproof, as well as drop a nuke. Generally the Tabata superpower is I win. Judy's going for a bit of salvage there. Hopefully she can get a decent amount of salvage, but the extra defense is causing some issues there. And Tabata could get her superpower next turn, and deploy it this turn. Because after all, she has a CO zone, there's 15 energy here, and it's not to mention 10 here. So she could deploy her superpower next turn. Which will likely that would strike right here, because it follows Sturm's Meteor's principle, so it could be infantry meteor, which would land probably right here, or it could be a value meter, which would definitely be right here. Yeah, it would be definitely right there. Or be a indirect, which there are none, so it will probably still land right there. Ooh, gets trapped there. Takes the command tank, has 57 energy, but looks like nothing here to project on those units there. So no superpower this turn. Gets a good strike there. Now has access to her superpower. Of course, this is for our cast vision. And Palpatine may have not thought about deploying out her superpower this turn. She may just keep on hold of her aura, because her aura is immensely powerful. Small, but doesn't matter how you use it. And it's going to push down infantry there and probably get this infantry load up next turn. And looks like Judy has loaded herself up for a Duster. The recon should have vision of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, the command Duster is in vision range of the recon. Tank, tank, tank. Will she pop her superpower this turn? Nope, she will not. Gets a lot of good damage. She could throw sack her Dusters into Judy. Just whittle her down. Takes time to actually try to machine gun down and joins the two Dusters together. Tank, tank, bike, and battlecopter. Nice joins there, strikes the Duster there, but Talbot's aura, oh, 70, 65, 45, 30, that Talbot's aura there made it came out on even, which means she will counterattack and not come out on even. But at least Judy gets a bit of salvage there. Duster, tank, tank, base skip. Though with only one Duster strike, the Judy's command Duster won't probably one-shot it, because it only did 4 damage, or at most would do 4 to 5 damage. Good strike there. So Judy still has her aura in this region, but everything else is going down. Has a trio of tanks this region, completely surrounds Judy's Duster, but her aura is still active this region, but has nothing to really engage on these units. She probably should have her command Duster strike the battlecopter, because striking the Duster would just get her CO unit killed off. Good shot there. Is trying to crack it open. Picks up that infantry unit there. Does hit that Duster there. Strikes the battlecopter. Talbot's command takes taking a beating. Don't think she'll be knocked out this turn. And since Talbot's command tank is effectively going down, she could pop her superpower this turn. Does get double trapped there. Anti-air tank, tank, and battlecopter. Command, recon there. She may just hold on to the aura. She's making a lot of good progress without popping the global plus 60, plus 60. Yeah, looks like she's just going to hold on to her superpower. She's right now 115 versus Tabata's 134. Plus her day-to-day, so she's going to be pushed up to 160. So she has quite a bit of advantage. Though right now Judy does have 30,000 income as opposed to Tabata's 24. Next turn for 155. Making good progress there. Now that's a Star Meteor target if I've ever seen one. The infantry one will land somewhere around here. The value one will land here. I don't think it would land right there. It looks like she's not been popping her superpower this turn. Even strikes the Duster there, very nice. Doing now's command copter over here. Of course, does have to be careful of the anti-air. Does have vision of the anti-air, so should be able to knock that out. And nice little recon pass there by the motorcycle. Strikes the artillery, does not strike the anti-air. I should have struck it. Tank, anti-air, tank, and battlecopter. Takes out the battlecopter. We see out the next one, maybe a tank. Duster does get a good strike hit, boosted from the CO zone. Duster is down here, but should be revealed. Hiding, flying units can't hide. They still get revealed by the Fog of War spotting. Tank, anti-air, bike. Cancer 139, top that's 157, with 8,000 in the bank. Nice recon pass there. Oh, and the does find the 1 HP Duster. And the battlecopter. Oh, don't worry about that. That's one thing on my side. The battlecopter could be struck by the anti-air. Got, of course, this wound anti-air here as well. This healthy one is in range of the multiple battlecopter as well. A lot of battlecopters in the field. We may need to get out more Dusters at the current rate. Strikes that one inside the CO zone, does take it out. Battlecopter strikes that one, hits the top of his command tank, and again. Which will encourage Tabata to pull out the Firestorm, which will probably land right there. Does get trapped there. Duster did no damage. Anti-air, tank. I feel I'm going to see Tabata's Firestorm. Or maybe not. How many times do I have to say that and be incorrect? I can say it once more. I think Tabata's going to deploy our Firestorm out this turn. A lot of good strikes there. Does join capture there, very nice. Not join capture, just join. Helicopter, tank, bike. Answer for 177,000 of field with 7,000 of bank versus 104,000. Get some good salvage there, as well as some good kills. Tank, Battlecopter. Helicopter doesn't need to take time to get resupplied, it's at 8 fuel remaining. Good strike there. Looks like maybe no Firestorm this turn. Good strike there from Veteran Tank, knocking it down 2 health. Got 1 full health tank there, but too many artillery pieces from the push forward. Machine guns the tank there, does not take it out. The wounded our Battlecopter will scout forward, or probably be nuked by one of these anti-airs. Drew's command copter does go down. Nice recon pass there by the Duster. The Duster itself needs some fuel relatively soon. Good strike there, able to be spotted because of air getting top of a forest. Being decent amount of salvage there. Tank rocket. Duster does get... Wait, I guess got trapped on the anti-air. Tabata's command tank right forward up north. And Tabata's starting to capture some profit. She's actually pulled ahead in economy. I got Tabata's bomber advance way forward, which can be supercharged and drop miniature nuclear warheads. Go along with the Firestorm, which is effectively a miniature nuclear warhead. Not sure actually what type of weapon the Firestorm rocket is. Since the colder weapon's probably a nuke, literally. There's salvage there. Making some decent headway, but that command anti-air will be taken out next turn. Bike, tank, Battlecopter, tank. No Firestorm this turn. A lot of dead aircraft. Bomber, ends turn in a horrible position there. and then could probably seal the tank, push forward, maybe strike the anti-air, and then get the salvage boosted strike onto the bomber. I think Judy could get very lucky here, having that. Does seal the battlecopter. I disagree with that. I really think should have sealed the tank there, get a strike right here, and then to get a nice salvage strike on the bomber. That would have paid for itself immediately. Not to mention gets plus 100% firepower to put more rounds into it. So I think there's a bit of a misplay there. Because look how many fights are here. Look how much salvage she could have gotten for all the fights. So yeah, I think a big mistake there. Got a rocket now on the HQ. Firestorm, if it will land, could probably land right here. I think she may pop the Firestorm. Or maybe not, she would have done it by now. Does spot the rocket. Judy, or Combat ends turn of 182,000. Judy starts turn of 107. Lander is pretty low in fuel at 25 fuel. Duster, tank, and base skip. Battlecopter takes out the tank there. Okay, so that unit there. Rocket gets spotted, takes out the command copter. Could seal the rocket. That's probably not a great idea. Probably should seal the Duster, actually. Top Gun can start eyeing to capture some of these properties up north. She's in pretty good position right now. Bike, bomber, anti-air. Does not CO any unit this turn, looks like. Strikes her artillery piece, but does go by a couple of tanks there, so that tank is going down. I mentioned we receive a strike from another artillery piece. Battlecopter. Tank, bike. And now it's on to flip more properties at 32 versus 23. Getting catastrophically bad levels of economic difference. And just looks at the current rate, which is going to get worse. Get some good kills there. Merge there, which also gets quite a bit of refunds. So another bomber could be summoned. Goes for a Duster. Anti-air, bike, medium tank. And Judy does go ahead and resign this grade, saying, "Think watching," and on to next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need to utilize the restroom. Please give me a moment. news, I am back. Let's see now. The replay list. Next one on the queue. Here we go. Let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Excuse me a moment, let me adjust my microphone. Here we go. Small on the north side as the blue force, we've got Dead Aztec with 2 Z's. Small on the south side as the black hole hawk, we've got Sixel. Forosif is, of course, unchanged from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, standard radius, or not standard radius, 5 radius, no expansion, no energy, and only has a day-to-day bonus of just providing plus 20% in a very large radius. Hawk is, of course, technically a custom CEO in Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars. Has standard boarding cost, only 2 radius, has a large amount of max energy and expansion, 30, 70, 120, with a max energy of 120. His aura is relatively based off of having the standard plus 10 plus his day-to-day passive from previous Advanced Wars game, plus 10% offense, combining those two, do plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense. For his power, he of course can apply that global and gets 1 healing, deal 1 damage, so his Black Wave costs 50 energy rather than standard 60 energy. And his superpower is of course the same, but just Black Storm health and damage. It only costs 100 rather than the maximum of 120, meaning that if he gets to 120, he will have a bit of a 20 energy left over, so you can always just store up extra energy. Additionally, since he can store extra energy, the 50 energy cost and 100 energy cost, since it doesn't ever increase, means that you can pop the power more often than superpower, unless you really want to do 2 damage global. But there is argument to be made you don't have to. It's better just go for the CEO power because it doesn't consume any excess energy. It doesn't cost any more for additional powers, superpowers like previous Advanced Wars. Either way, let's get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport, with a decent amount of roads exit, and I'm pretty sure got ruins here. They only provide 1 defense star, but they are also like planes with movement when it comes to tracks or wheeled vehicles. So anti-tank, while they're tires, they also do have their own little unique variation of tires, so they don't get as tired so much. Yeah, that joke was horrible. Of course, got double bikes here. Both players do start out with the airport and with the city there, so you get a lot of initial income, so bike openers are quite common in this map, and probably by default. Forosif did save up some funding there. He may be eyeing to CO one of these units next turn, maybe eyeing for a tank next turn. Got a T-Copter by Hawk, and does base skip. So Hawk is going to try to go for the capturing game with the T-Copter. That's interesting. Don't really think I've seen early T-Copter like this in this map, and Forosif goes to an APC, so got some unusual build openers for both sides. Recon infantry, so like Hawk is going to eye for a bit of aggression. With the amount of rows on the map, the Recon can advance very quickly. Tank, infantry, so I have a feeling Force is going to be loaded up in this tank now. Since Forosif doesn't have to worry about any power charge, he could be loaded up in any unit and be just fine. His aura radius is also quite large, means it doesn't have to be even a mobile unit to get the benefits. I've even seen people just load him up into an infantry unit because infantry unit's just fast enough to support the front line. And it could be in the back line because its aura is that massive. Mech? Okay, I thought the position there suggests mech, but of course infantry is already there. Got now a Hawk loaded command tank. Now let's get a bit of strike up there. T-Copter dropping off some support. And we do have 2 tanks over here. Bike, infantry, so Nothing else at the moment. Right now it has 14,000 versus 11,000. Good strike there. But of course got a lot of supporting infantry there. More infantry being pushed forward, so both sides just pushing infantry forward. And there's Forsyth's command a tank, and got a pretty nice boost strike there. Takes out the recon, and gets boost strike onto the bike as well. Chain good victories there by Forsyth. Hawks tanks out of range of his opponent's tank, plus even does get a shot there, it would be retaliated on by the command tank. Just pushed up north, out of range of these tanks. Now got a battlecopter, but a mech infantry, and the mech is not on the T-copter side, so maybe T-copter's gonna come over here, not sure. And regarding which direction the anti-air gets deployed on the field, he can simply send the battlecopter the other direction. A good deployment would probably be to actually deploy out a battlecopter's own to counter the battlecopter, rather than trying to go for anti-air. Now, anti-air's in this direction, so Hawk should send his battlecopter up north. Some good picks there. He's going to send up north, but it's also in a position where it can just simply go left if he decides to rotate it this way. Excuse me. Don't worry about that. That's something on my end, I think. Artillery infantry tank. Anti-air, of course, in now a good position there. Can either go left or right. So the anti-air is ready to intercept the battlecopter regardless which direction goes. Very good position there. Forsyth's command tank will probably receive a shot there from Hawk's command tank, but we've got this reinforcing tank here to support. With the amount of infantry fighting up there, Hawk could just actually send his tank up north to get as much power charge, besides engage the tank there directly. Because there's so many infantry engaged there, Hawk could get a lot of power charge if he can manage to get a CO unit up here. Battlecopter, infantry. And of course, let's pull back that tank there, allow his other tank to get a good shot on in, boosted by the command aura of Forsyth's. And Hawk will need to fall back his tank, probably get merge onto it. He has 26 energy, so can't be losing it. He can also push forward some units there to get energy charge before falling back to tanks there as well, which may result in him getting enough CO charge for pulling out a superpower. In actuality, he can actually get his superpower this turn. If you just slow down and look at a moment, we've got 9, 4, 9, 10, and 4. So this tank can push forward and strike this tank there, get a decent amount of power charge. Battlecopter can get a good strike there. He has 26 energy, so he only needs to do 24 damage in order to get out his superpower. So this infantry can push forward right here and get 4 damage there. That will put him up to 30 energy. Battlecopter could push forward here and get 60 damage there. That will put him up to 14 remaining. Then a more look at it, probably not, can't get superpower. The wasteland there is causing a bit too much issues, but he can still get some power charge going. Yeah, maybe I overthought about it a little bit. Strikes the bike there, that's probably outranged the anti-air. Oh, we've also got +1 CO zone radius there, which will help out, as well as get more power charge. Still do a nice little join there. Tank, anti-air, mech. Merge there, very nice. Anti-air gets a good strike there. Nothing to deal with the battlecopter. And Hawk could probably move some tree over here, get a strike in the bike to get some more power charge. He just needs 15 more energy, which just feels very possible. Overall, feels like Force is a pretty good position. Ends turn of 82,000. Hawk starts turn 66, so it's back down to day-to-day difference. Good strike there. 41 energy, 44 energy. Goes back to think a little bit more, and he can put the infantry on that city. He's got 2 more energy there. Here, tank infantry. Takes out the battlecopter there, no problem. And does manage to take out Hawk's command tank there. Hawk can either load himself up to a tank or anti-air next turn, or wait until for the following. Over feels like Forceps taking up some pretty good engagement so far. Hawk does a good amount of infantry up here. We'll be able to capture this despicable neutral property up there. 17 versus 17,000 now. Does get a good strike on the command tank with the artillery piece. Another Scout Dust here, which will be able to strike this battlecopter no problem. And we'll surround the command tank there, but a lot of 2 health infantry units there, so could be broken out pretty easily. 4 health, 9 health infantry there. Medium tank is probably going to seal himself in the medium tank. Spends every single piece of funding he has. Does surround his Duster there, so it won't be able to strike with the anti-air. Mech. Tank. And another tank. 93,000 versus 68. Hawk is starting to fall behind. Does seal the medium tank now. Mech sacks itself there, gets some good damage. Artillery does not take the opportunity to shoot this infantry units, decides to reposition the wasteland or the ruins. Remember as well, ruins only have 1 defense star. They're effectively almost exactly the same as planes, other than slightly more traversable wheeled units. But I believe this also is a hiding spot in case there is fog of war. Tank infantry. Good strikes down here. Mech could sack itself onto the anti-air, which probably wouldn't be a half bad idea. It's not like it would be able to do much. Duster is in range of the anti-air. That's actually not a good position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I miscounted there. Wasteland does slow it down enough. And it's easy to break through that 5 health infantry for that anti-air. Good damage there, takes out the infantry unit there. Command takes up north, it's a nice strike there, and there. Up to 7 energy at the moment. Anti-artillery in a good position to provide some fire support. Got a battlecopter in the region there as well. Nothing to really stop it. Got an anti-air that will migrate up north as well. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, mech. Borisov has got a war tank. War tank may when I end his turn on top of the HQ, so perhaps gets CO'd, though, like the second Royan, Borisov does not really require a powerful CO unit. T-Copter should forward, be a bit of a body blocker. Battlecopter should go down. Artillery should just fall back, maybe on top of the 6 health infantry unit there. But falling back even further is probably not a bad idea. Hawk will get a very good amount of power charges there, and that's for sure. Does not get the power charge there for taking out the battle copter. At 35 energy, so it has +1 CO zone. Tank. Our Anti-Air. Good picks in center. He has. Hawk does have a tank there. Maybe would have been a good idea to put the 1 health infantry unit on top of the city there to be a bit of roadblock against that tank there. Duster does strike the battle copter. As Anti-Air is out of range of that Duster as well. Good picks up there, though the medium tank's still in a good position. Could have sacked the mech to hit the command tank, but does pick off that unit there instead. 48 energy has enough power for a for a power charge. Of course, he'll have to lose the turn of the medium tank, and that's a valuable, powerful unit. Traps the Duster there, while the Anti-Air take it out in the next turn. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, they skip. 74 energy, so getting quite a bit of power charge. More power charge, so there the CO zone will be. War tank is pushing its way forward. It could whittle down with a CO power. Not sure how powerful a Hawk medium tank would be against a Forsyth war tank. Tank, artillery, infantry. Gotta wait until that unit engages. Not great idea. His superpower and superpower can be useful to help whittle it down though. He's missed power charge beforehand though. Looks like Hawk is starting to turn the tide down south. Looks like he's trying to use this artillery as bait. Battlecopter, mech, infantry. It's around that artillery piece, so it'll be at 3 health next turn. Being as well, like I said beforehand, he's going to have to consume his turn to pop the power. Which wouldn't be half bad. Global 1 healing could be quite nice. And that won't be enough, a whole lot of damage there. And maybe we're going to pop the power in order to get that power charge going to whittle down the war tank immediately. Takes out that unit there. Takes out the Duster. Yeah, has enough for a superpower now. And almost fully charged as well. He's now at full power charge. Go for either power or superpower would be a good idea. Two damage global would be very effective. Anti-tank, infantry. Don't know if the anti-tank's a great idea. It's probably just trying to counter the war tank there with it. Answer for 95,000. Forsyth starts to turn 101 or 81. Hawk does also 25 units for 16, which is a bit of a problem. Forsyth needs to get more regular tanks down south. Gets a great strike there and finish off the command tank there. I think Hawk got a little bit too greedy for those engagements. Lose all that power charge there. Artillery will strike the war tank, get some good damage there. Other artillery can strike here. Does CO the anti-tank. Mech to push forward, take out this regular tank there. This last piece of ammo though. It does. Body blocks there to save the artillery a bit of damage, but the artillery's piece is effectively knocked out. I think both of them will go down next turn. Let's take that straight to the war tank. The artillery piece there, not sure if the war tank can punch through that mech. 6 damage, so nope. Oh, the artillery piece there. Yep. Breaks through up north, takes out all of Hawk's units up here. And just like that, Hawk got knocked out of this region, losing his medium tank like that. And right now, Hawk's at 64,000 versus Force's 87, so as to make that 101. So Hawk's lost a lot. It felt like Hawk had a very firm grasp, but then Forces just turned it around. Good damage on that war tank, slowly moving down the artillery. Another medium tank. Bike and infantry. Right now, the income pool is 17,000 as well, and Hawk's making a pretty good breakthrough over here, trying to flip some properties. Does strike the mech there. If it takes out the bike there, the mech can strike the tank, then the tank can hit the tank. The tank will move in the city, strike it, and the mech will hit it from the waistline while the thing get day-to-day repairs. Mech, recon, and anti-air. Yep, he does do that other idea. Finish off that tank there. Battlecopter strikes the war tank, and he's going to be eating a lot of funds for the repairs. Tank, and bike. Ends turn for 88. Forces starts turn for 91. Here can get some shots on the Duster. That's not a massive threat at the moment. Just an annoying threat towards the infantry. A tank can strike the tank there, so that's probably a good shot. 75 damage. Does. It's a good strike there, but not a boost strike from the aura. And he goes for his own war tank. Mech and base skip. Anti-air goes down, strikes some infantry there, just causing problems, also blocking the road by being a flapping aircraft. And Forsyth has stabilized the southern region, only just infantry really remains. Does have a tank way back there, but right now Hawk needs to get more tanks, and another probably go for tank anti-air to go leftwards. Force's northern flank's not super great at the moment. Hawk Force's insert 112, Hawks are turning to 73. Trying to zone up the war tank there. The medium tank does get a strike there. Sacks the tank there. Doesn't even do a 10% damage there, but did 5%. And blocks the Duster, but does have escape. So he's surrounded at least from this side. That can still be in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, so it's just out of range. Mech infantry tank. Get some good kills at 37 energy. Forces war tank to strike Hawk's war tank, but it's on top of the city, so we'll get repairs, and eventually he's down 4 health. This property will be flipped next turn, evening out the income. There's the bike there, and the vetted infantry takes the 8th year, allowing the battlecopter more free reign. And no possibility of a CO power next turn. It will require too much energy. It won't be able to get it all. Actuality, there's a possibility of a CO power next turn. If he's able to get some good damage on this mech and on the T-copter, he could get a CO power and perhaps heal up the 8th year by 1 health and damage the battlecopter by 1 health. But likely the anti-tank will need to push down south, let the war tank get a boost strike on the war tank. Sacks itself there, gets a good shot there. It's the war tank and decides not to stay on the city there to get day-to-day repairs. Also got a rig here for some odd reason. Going for try and push mechs up north, looks like. It's turn for 94, forces starts turn 110. You can see perhaps the tank right there. Does. Get a boost strike there on that tank. Mech is great shot there in the anti-tank taking severe hits. One more engine and he'll get his... He has his CO power, pop it. He has to pop it. It has 1 health anti-tank. 3 health remaining. Could have worked slightly there to heal that already that was in range in the damage on the tank. A little bit, yeah. But looks like he needs to pop his power this turn. Goes for a bit of CO energy, but it's not like this anti-tank's going to live this turn. Oh, he's going to try to save it. Does pop the power there. Getting +1 global damage and +1 global healing. And I mentioned +10, +20, +10 global as well, so he does get some global firepower. Battlecopter, mech, infantry, bike. Ends a turn with 85,000 field. Forces starts the turn for 88, so it's pretty even at the moment. But of course, now the turns in forces. I was not live talking 2 minutes ago. Oh, sorry. I was wondering about that. And this is why I have a bit of paranoia when talking to chat. It's like, what are you talking about? Am I missing something? Probably. Anti-air mech tank. Of course, the command anti-tank is destroyed. He may just seal himself into the battlecopter down south. Still needs some. Got the anti-air here to engage the Duster. Get some good strikes there. Putting tanks on top of cities, trying to get a bit of healing going. 7 health is probably enough to just keep pushing forward. Anti-air tank has not redeployed a CO unit. And the war tank is at 7 health at the moment, so it's going to be eating some funds, but it will be very powerful. 88 versus 86, so it's pretty even down. Hawk has stabilized the game. He was on the back end for a bit of time. Mech gets picked off there. Looks like Forsyth has stabilized down south. And Forsyth has now put out his own anti-tank, as was a tank bike. Battlecopter tank pushing up north. Anti-air is out of range of the battlecopter. and he has sealed himself into a regular tank. It's probably a good idea. That's the problem as well. So, you know, sealing yourself into a medium tank or a war tank is very nice. The problem is you gotta spend the entire turn to pop the power of that unit, which is a bit of a loss there itself. Force if it's starting to put the temporary port there. Hawk can always do the same as well. Now I have to get out a temporary port somewhere. Battlecopter will get a good strike there in the infantry. Interior push up north. Resupplies the infantry unit there. Filling up the rations. Oh, he actually fully built the temporary airport there. He may be trying to get forward to resupply for the Duster. Takes out the mech there. Good strike there on the mech. Hawks are now at 2 energy. Force got the anti-tank in the region. Force, Hawk's war tank is in range of the anti-tank. The mech is as well. Just need to clear out this blocker. Let's see, what will Hawk need to do? You can push forward, do 31 damage there. I think this tank needs to push here to hit the recon or the anti-air, and then allow it to get some boost attacks onto the anti-tank with the war tank, and possibly the mech first. Does get a strike there. I disagree with that placement there. I think it should have gone right here. Allow the mech to get a boost strike, or probably won't get a boost strike with the mech, but get the first strike with the mech and then let the anti-tank try to get a shot onto the war tank on the anti-tank. Takes out the anti-air there. Some rounds there. Anti-tank could get a good shot there onto the tank, but will be vulnerable to the full health mech in the back line. Hawks at 43 energy. Another tank pull in the field. Tank infantry. Mech does receive a shot there from the anti-tank. This mech still has 1 ammo left. In fact, he could actually drain the ammo of the mech by using the recon to shoot it. But then again, anti-tank is still vulnerable to machine guns, so I think a mech machine gun would still be effective versus anti-tank. I honestly have no idea. Let's just say a mech trying to machine gun an anti-tank doesn't happen all too often. And looks like the Duster did manage to get all the way back up north rather than utilizing the freshly spawned temporary airport there. Rick can resupply the mech there. Good shot there. We saw that tank at 50 energy. Of course, he seems to turn there. Here's the command tank there. Machine guns the anti-tank. Oh, nope. I disagree that rig placement there. I think he should have resupplied the mech, get its ammo going, because it is actually out of ammo and it's fully vetted. Maybe ready to merge the two mechs together. A full vet mech could be quite nice. Basically a full vet tank that moves slowly. Battlecopter infantry. And he does have 70 energy right now. He could seal this tank there, or the Duster. Loses veterancy, of course. Does seal the tank. And the anti-tank does fall back a little bit. That unit there. Command. Oh. I would not have pushed forward the command tank like that. That's dead. Does not take out the anti-tank. Oh, he just straight up sacked his command tank. There's a battlecopter and a tank and a battlecopter there. I mentioned the anti-tank with 2 health can get a strike there. So he just sacked his command tank for no real reason. Why did he do that? That was a horrible play. Come on now, use the power and superpower. He could have... I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe a misclick? I have no idea at this point in time. There was no way that was a purposeful sack. That was a purposeful attack or misclick. Because he was like 3 energy away from a Black Storm. Which would have been very nice. I mean, he had a Black Wave available. In fact, a Black Wave health regen, not to mention global damage, would have been very nice. He has a lot of veteran units up here, just needs a bit of health. And 1 bit of health will go a long way, such as this war tank going to fully vet war tank going to back up to 10 health. Duster there. A lot of stuff could have gone down because a lot of stuff's was reduced down to 1 health last turn. And a lot of things getting cleaned up down south. He's going to perhaps CO the anti-air and push forward over here. Tank there. Infantry. And tank. Now we've got War Tank versus War Tank. Of course, this is an unvetted War Tank. 1-star defense. Remember, runes are just 1 star. Versus a 9 health War Tank that's fully maxed out vet. Of course, does have this War Tank does support of the defense aura, so these two are pretty well matched at the moment. Okay, so that Duster. That Duster finally went down. That was a very active Duster. And Hawk may need to just stabilize this region there. He has artillery piece there, but he does not have enough momentum to punch through this region. Just pulls back slightly, and does have to fire support the artillery piece there. Maybe this one a few times I'll say a rocket or 8 tanks up here wouldn't be half bad. Help protect the bridgehead. An 8 tank right here on the city wouldn't be half bad. War Tank still in range of War Tank. CO's the tank up there. There's some a lot of these outlying units off. Very nice. Battlecopter infantry. Anything down south. Which the anti-tank I don't really agree with down south. I think the regular tanks would have been better. I don't think that's a good spot to anti-air or for the artillery. That 5 health mech can be easily punched through by this anti-air, and then the war tank will strike the artillery piece. Okay, so the battlecopter there. Strikes the anti-air there. Do have a rocket down south for Forsyth. Can't say how effective that will be. The anti-tank is pushing this towards the center. Blue's getting a bit of a death ball in the center of the map as well. Got 17,000 versus 17,000 income. War Tank gets on top of the city there, so now get some good healing there. 2-star defense. I believe it's partly bait that they draw the enemy war in the arty range behind the VMech. I think, oh, you're talking about up here? Possibly. Problem is, mechs, they're nice, but against war tanks, they still are lacking. Mechs do good versus tanks and medium tanks, but against war tanks, they do fall quite a bit. Another war tank by Forsyth for down south. Of course, got the anti-tank over here for Hawk. And looks like Blue's now front shift down south. Which means Hawk can start pushing forward up here. Tank will strike tank. Tank will strike tank. And finish off that unit there. And we'll go for a flip. Cleans up a lot of force down south. Very nice. Anti-tank may just need to find a good position and help stop this advance. Will it be a good position for it? I'm not so sure. It's a lot of open ground there. Eyes his opponent's city. We'll have to be careful of the rocket because right now it can't stand in fire next turn because the rocket just needs to creep forward 1 tile and then he can no longer stand and shoot or he will get hit by a rocket barrage. So I don't think that's a good spot for the anti-tank. It's so easy to just push him out of that region with this rocket. And now, there you go. Even with a good target for the anti-tank to strike, like the artillery or the rig, it has to run away from the rocket. And not to mention the mech and the artillery. And the infantry. Yeah, the anti-tank is a little bit too exposed right there. I'll just straight up get overran. War tank boosted by the CO zone and takes out the war tank in a very decisive strike there. Giving him 10 energy. It still only counts as 10. Battlecopter advancing. Anti-tank does fall back in good bridgehead. Or is the bridge. Infantry in front of it probably wouldn't be half bad spot for one. Infantry here and here. Once the anti-tank up front. Hawk can serve 154,000. Forsyth has 118, so Hawk has quite a bit of advantage. And that war tank was a very, very good pick. Donating 11 more energy to Hawk. He needs to actually keep away from Hawk's command tank. This is going to give Hawk a lot of energy. That's 11, and potentially a lot more up here as well. Hawk could get a power next turn. He'll get enough charge for power, not necessarily deploy out next turn. But I don't think this infantry's good. He's donating too much energy. Don't think he should have pushed for the battle cup like that. I think he should have pushed for... Yep, he missed out some energy there. But he's getting a lot of energy nonetheless. 58 energy, so he has enough for a Black Wave. And Hawk can start eyeing the HQ here. There is an anti-tank for him to deal with. But now he's inside of a regular tank, which is a lot more expendable, easier to accept losing a turn there than the medium tank. Hawk does have a rocket here as well, trying to lock down this region. A lot of bridges here, all of which are now blocked down by the rocket. Ooh, got pretty close. Hawk should just fall back as command tank. He has two things he can do. He can take some easy engagements over here, get as much energy charge, and then fall back and pop a Black Wave. Potentially Black Storm as well, because he got 5, 11, 9, or 18, 28, and possibly 38. Even more energy there as well, before he can fall back and pop his power and or superpower. So we could see Black Storm this turn. Yep, I want to see Hawk try to go for Black Storm. Okay, he pops immediately. I disagree with that. I think he should have got as much power charge and then try to pop a Black Storm. Because These are 2 easy kills you could have got for a free power charge. It's something that's common in Advanced Wars by Web, but since this game is not necessarily one where you store a power charge, I think a lot of players don't have that mindset. No offense to the player. But he does pop Black Wave, now he gets plus 20, plus 10 global, as well as, of course, 1 damage global. Lots of good kills there, making clean sweep up north. Going to receive a hit there from the anti-tank. All onto this tank there. Hawk right now has 163 with a state of day still available. $175 versus 78 horses in an extremely knocked position because CO, his 8 tank, does not. Oh, CO's unit's still down there. Never mind. And does go ahead and resign there. This Angrade saying thank you for watching and on to next replay. I probably have time for one more replay tonight, so let's see now. I'm going to try to see which replays I've spotted, choose which one I think is the best, and we'll do that one for the rest of the night. "28 turns. Have I only cost 25 turns? Let's see, this is also a bit of a larger one, so I'm thinking more of the other one right now. Smaller maps, more turns, means more action, hopefully. Have I only cast games with Hawk loose? No, now think about it, maybe. And 32 turns. This one shall do. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue Judy, got Buster Beachside. Spawn on the left side as the red Cyrus, got Chan Show, or haven't pronounced that. It's probably, I have no idea to pronounce it. Cyrus, of course, is technically a custom CO, even though he's not technically also original character in the game. Standard boarding cost, standard radius, standard expansion, standard max energy. Has a relatively weaker plus 15 for all units. Nice, small, weak, but powerful CO. And his CO power is cost standard energy. And reverse your CO unit to unlevel 7, so unload CO. You're allowed to reload your CO to any unit on the field with no boarding costs. And also you fire a weak missile silo. Judy, of course, is a fully custom CO, has reduced boarding cost to 30%, 3 radius, no expansion, no energy. She's solely a midday passive CO. Gets plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and you get 30% salvage. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3 base map, 1 airport, so gonna be a lot of infantry with occasional battlecopters. Both players pull out infantry, how damning. It's also a bit of a strong side, weak side mechanic, more or less. Got 2 bases here versus 1 base. Airports can go put air battlecopters in any direction. While it is on the weak side, doesn't necessarily mean it will be always the weak side. And of course I get a spam bot on Twitch. Just give me a moment to purge the bot. I swear, I don't get like spam bots lately on Twitch. Got the first bike to now deployed in the field. Bike, and infantry. This map does offer a decent amount of force as well as properties. Usually these two properties are probably the most contested on the field, but this one and this counterpart one can be quite contested sometimes. Well, it seems like these two properties stayed neutral long enough, for me, at least. Infantry, and mech there, so it has to pull it out mech. Bike, and infantry. And looks like Red does manage to go rush forward in the center of the map to capture those properties, skipping some of these properties on the way. So, a bit of investment trying to rush the center properties, but these ones can be hard to capture sometimes. But in this case, capturing them now means you have to worry about defending rather than trying to stop or to capture them. A little bit interrupt there, and maybe interrupting further. We'll have to be fully wiped out in the next turn to stop it from being captured any further. One way to help save at least one health, this infantry unit could charge its way forward and put a shot into either one. That may result in being still alive. We do now have a flare here. Flares are disturbingly effective, honestly. Even though it's not a fog war map, flares are incredibly powerful. They have a very powerful machine gun, stronger than recons. And we got a medium tank there. So it looks like it's going to be a CO medium tank. So Skip's tank goes flare into medium tank. On the weak side, of course. And it looks like this property will be captured as well. So Red's trying to make some power plays. We'll capture these contestable properties. Artillery, bike, and recon. Of course, got a command tank there. Not a big surprise. Judy's, of course, a Salvacio. Doesn't really matter what she gets loaded on up. A reasonable tank is like a good middle ground for her to be loaded into. Offer good firepower. She's able to obtain her own salvage, but of course her aura is large enough to support other units obtaining salvage. Judy right now has 19,000 versus 18,000. She's been maintaining pretty good income lead, but she's also not charged towards the center of the map. Now trying to contest this point there. The counterpart one is already captured by her opponent. Takes the bike there, puts a round there. There is a mech to squat out the medium tank. Takes the bike there. The recon should be able to take it out next turn. Actually, no, there's a river there, so this unit is in the way. Recon pushing up north, getting some damage. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry, mech. So both players now have a battlecopter in the field. And I think as well, Judy can push forward, get a shot in the medium tank. It will go okay, not great. So probably not a good idea to do that. Especially with the mech nearby. So yep, don't do that. And does not interrupt the capture there. Pulls back the tank a little bit there, lacking a bit of fire support deal from the medium tank. Battlecopter is somewhat close by now. Tank, bike. Now capturing up the properties up north. Both players are 21,000. Battlecopter push forward as well, so right now Red has a good amount of rocket. Don't know if a rocket's a good idea. This is the weak side. Maybe we're going to try to put the rocket on top of the bridge there to provide a good fire support position. Takes out the meteorite there, which allows the opening up here. And remember, the HQ is on the weak side, so it can be directly assaulted. And Blue's heading up, migrating up north, eyeing to go towards the HQ. But mostly just infantry right now, lacking a serious amount of fire support. Got a lot of serious firepower here. Also lacking a bit of infantry support there. I don't know how this will go. Judy right now is 30 units versus 22. Valley is was at 74 versus 101, so Judy has quite a bit of value advantage because she had better income throughout the game. Of course, salvage is always quite nice. Strikes Judy's command tank there. There's the bike there. Nothing to really engage the anti-air at this moment. Battlecopter could charge forward and get striking the command tank or onto the battlecopter there, but there's nothing to engage both the battlecopter and the anti-air. The command tank could get a shot down the anti-air, but won't go great. So it's not looking great for Judy up here. She may just need to fall back in this region. Oops. Trying to put some properties there. Has some tanks up forward up north now. Does get a good strike there on the tank. Puts a round into the anti-air. So the battlecopter will likely be struck by the battlecopter next turn or by the anti-air, and the tank, the command tank will go on down. Yeah, probably anti-air to battlecopter. Battlecopter to tank or maybe to artillery. And then the rocket strikes out that unit there. Ooh, had enough for the power. I did not see that coming. I wasn't paying attention up there. Had enough of the CO power. Launched the missile here to wound the tanks there. Not so powerful CO power, but probably will wait, load himself up with this next medium tank. Oh no, load himself up into the battlecopter. Because since there's not enough anti-air in the region, he's going to get free reign there. And picks off a number of units down south. So we do have a tank and recon here, but I got some mechs to stop those. This property will be flipped next turn, and Blue can start trying to flip some central properties. Anti-air, medium tank, and artillery. A very good number of medium tanks being pulled up by Cyrus. Looks like Judy does go ahead and withdraw out of the region a little bit. We're now at 87,000 versus 105, so it is largely even out, just back down to day-to-day differences. My brain had an error of thinking the CO wearing red was Red Army, was the Red Army. Sorry. Sometimes my mind just goes to color, sometimes it goes to the CO. It's also technically orange. Oh, but also you probably were thinking Red Army as in Chinese, perhaps. Yeah, my mind can be a bit stupid as well. Because I have trouble understanding sometimes what people are talking about. The bike's not going to capture the property just yet, because it'll just be hit by the infantry unit there. And by the mech. Right now, Cyrus has 0 energy at the moment. Artillery, the rocket is a good defensive position. This spot there is basically meant for the rocket to help lock down, protect the flank on the weak side. Blair strikes the battlecopter, puts some infantry rounds into it. Battlecopter is just getting hit by multiple flanks. Medium tank pushes way forward, and the T-copter now blocking one of the possible angle for the 2 mechs to engage, or the 2 tanks to engage it. So far, it feels like Cyrus is an ever good position. Anti-tank now pulled by Cyrus on the weak side, tank infantry. Looks like Judy's going to try a front switch. Also a bit of bait there. And maybe a good idea for this tank just to charge forward and this medium tank just get some damage onto it. Probably a good idea to actually make that attack. Put some damage into that medium tank, making it a lot less scary. Maybe because the small sprite size, my eyes are registered more red than orange. I think this is red rather than orange. Here's the thing as well. In the original Advance Wars, Super Famicom Wars, it was Red Star, Blue Moon, Green Earth, and Yellow Comet. But I'm pretty sure they decided to not, the following Advance Wars, make it Red or Red Star because of, well, Red Star. Do I really need to explain that? Especially when Red Star or Orange Star is supposed to be more like US focused, like equipment. Blue Moon's supposed to be more Russian focused equipment. Green Earth is more German, though also a lot of English and British in there. And Yellow Comet's supposed to be Japanese in their designs. After all, the original COs, when it comes to Green Earth, you got Drake and Eagle. Eagle, I think, is supposed to be German, more Luftwaffe German. And Drake is, of course, just straight up English and British because he literally summons rain and being Navy. That's just straight up British, if I've ever heard anything British. Summons rain to really bring in the English weather. Get some good damage down south and north. Judy's getting some great engagement so far, holding a little bit of advantage, the salvage being very useful. Can't say that for sure. I don't think Grim... I wouldn't associate Grim with Wario. No longer Orange Star as a reboot? Is this back to red? Not sure. Never played Reboot. I don't actually own the Switch. A lot of games I had an eye on the Switch, but just never bought one. If I was going to buy anything Switch, it was probably for Shin Megami Tensei 5. Great missile strike there, damaging the entire formation. And looks like reloads himself up to me and tank up there. And tank for sure 4, get some damage there. Of course, Blue still has quite a bit of army there. Oh, Yellow Comet. Wait, is it no longer Yellow Comet? What is it now? Good strike there. Should probably try to push the CO unit first to get a bit of salvage going. But hitting that command tank, of course there's a global plus 15 now active. Gets a bit of a salvage strike there. Tank anti-air. Right now, Judy ends turn for 134, Cyrus starts turn 139, so pretty even, but now, of course, Cyrus turns and the front lines are smashed into each other. Anti-tank could probably get a good strike on one of the battle copters. Pulls back his command tank a little bit there, just get a bit of health going. Lots of good small picks there, getting 36 into there, and oh, I didn't realize he went for a full fighter. Really wants those battle copters dead. Judy only has the one anti-air on the field, so the fighter will have free reign. Why did they rename it the Gold Comet? Is it because of the stereotype of Japanese or calling Asians yellow skin? Is that literally it? It's a Japanese game. Good strike there. Let's check the battle. Of course, DEI always creeping everything. It was literally just supposed to be like the 4 common colors: red, orange, well, red, blue, green, and yellow. And of course, they had to rename Red Star. which somewhat makes sense because Red Star also being played by the more US focus design, which doesn't make any sense. It strikes there. Fighter strikes the battlecopter. Oh, Cyrus has enough for another superpower. Good strikes there. Anti-air puts around the recon. Judy's taking quite a bit of losses at the moment. She does not have her command vehicle on the field for. We'll go for another command tank, or maybe go for a battlecopter. Maybe a good idea to go put the CO unit inside the tank there so it can push forward by the ore benefits of this region. Excuse me. And does manage to take out the medium tank there with a flanking bike. Very nice. Takes out the artillery piece there. Nice little breakthrough. Good shot there on the tank. It's the anti-air. A lot of good victories down south for Blue. Really has started to smash through that region. Started to push to try to catch as many props as possible. Of course, we still got the fight in the region. The last remaining battlecopter is in range of the anti-air, but also, if you look here, the fighter's fully surrounded. And this can't escape up here, but that 3 health infantry unit there can easily be broken through by that 6 health infantry unit there, so it can easily be set free. Recon or AP rig and infantry with a war tank. So we've got multiple war tanks now put up by Cyrus, has 3 of them in the field. Now that means the rock is still alive with 1 ammo remaining, so that rock has been doing quite well for itself. If it's the best way to tell if the artillery piece is doing good or any sort of indirect is doing good is how much ammo does it have left. If it's almost out, it's done a good job. It's also max vetted, so it definitely got at least 3 kills. Blue's actually pulling back maybe a little bit too much there. Probably worry about the war tank. Mech, artillery, battlecopter, bike. More tank, anti-tank pusher forward. There's a lot of heavy armor here. We got a CO loaded medium tank on the field, but this is a threat. Yep, the flare did do quite well. Nope, the flare lives, but it's also surrounded, at least from this side. Can't cross the river though. Maybe we'll take the opportunity to fjord the river and die like in Oregon Trail. You know, I actually haven't played Oregon Trail in years. Last time I played Oregon Trail was when, not kindergarten, elementary school. You know, Rocket looks like Blue largely pulled back out of this region because all this heavy asset there. I understand. And now Red's advances way forward. Good strike there onto the rockets. The flare is alive and could have escaped, or not really. Command tank does strike the medium tank. Blue's going to get some good salvage there. Takes out the rocket there. That's going to be a lot of salvage. The rocket here is a bit wounded. Artillery piece can strike the medium, regular tank there. Might as well. Rocket does pull back. Now the base lock pulls back the unit there. Allows him to kill off that wounded unit. Lots of good strikes here. Takes the flare, hits the mech. Strikes the mech there. Blue's doing great, quite good over here. The problem is that war tank still exists. This is a short tile, so this mech can't reach the artillery, but it's just full health artillery. Anti-tank to help stabilize the region. But now this war tank's going, medium tank's going to get struck by multiple war tanks, gets knocked out there. May just CO the war anti-tank up here. This tank's down to 1 ammo as well. Maybe gonna have the mechs to fire onto the war tank. One on top of the mountain, one from the plains. And of course, got a bomber here. Battlecopter mech. Looks like a bit of mech spam to stabilize the region. Takes out the infantry in there with the mech. Artillery strikes back there. Does not CO the anti-tank. May need to go for another anti-tank here. Strike down the war tank. War tank is surrounded, at least from this side. Now I'll escape out through the path by the infantry. Good strike there on the anti-tank. Put it down to 5 health. Bomber's advancing. Gets 1 kill on the entry unit there. Duster strikes the battlecopter. Duster, mech, bike. A lot of good kills there, but got a good number of mechs, and a lot of the bikes there are quite wounded. Picks up the Duster. COs the anti-tank up north. Gets some salvage on the rig. Anti-tank Podge moved right there, but it's not. Duster, bike, anti-air. Maybe a little bit too many anti-airs, but Podge trying to hit that bomber. And there's a lot of tanks in the field. 115,000 for 120, so still pretty even. So good hits there by those mechs. And just got more mechs. Battlecopter comes for a nice little flank. There's no anti-air to stop it. Duster needs to make his way over here as soon as he can. Got now CO loaded Duster. And starting to pick up a lot of center units there, and maybe start trying to flip some of these properties in the center as well. Red's also trying to flip this property there. Got also a artillery piece there. Yeah, oh yeah. Couple heroes too, Kubelwagens. Sometimes they do amazing, sometimes, like most times, they just die. Usually to an anti-tank. Mech does get a strike there. The problem is now, with just a mech spam, so actually mech spam is always quite effective, and you just need those from another Duster. So Duster's aura could counter mech spams, or at least something reached out there. Oh, what blew up? Duster strikes Duster, very nice. Of course, got Duster here to hit the Duster. And a very powerful flank there, annihilating Blue's southern flank. And the mechs are pushing up forward to capture properties as well. This was a deadly flank there. This may win Red the game, this flank. Because now the mechs can just capture the property. Take a bit of time. Oh, T-Copter ran dry, that's what it was. Sometimes this map can be quite large, and I've been having autoplay on because I feel like autoplay is just quite handy. Because also as well, if I were to mainly do hit next play, you hear clicking sound every single time, and I'm pretty sure there's not anything to mute this specific clicking sound. And I don't like that clicking sound. Tank artillery. The bombers took a hit there, got a command tank now. Right now we've got 24,000 versus 24,000. Both sides have captured properties on their opponent's side of the map. We got a number of bikes now. Anti-air, T-copter infantry. Takes out the bomber there. Duster strikes the battlecopter, and there's well. Tank pushing down south, engaged. Got a war tank with 1 hour remaining. Of course, got the rig here to help resupply to give enough time. Mech's not pushing way forward there. Battlecopter, artillery, mech. Mech. Just reposition forces. Got decent amount of artillery here. Maybe artillery on top of this bridge wouldn't be half bad. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry. And take push way forward. Good shot there onto these units. Dusters could have been a bit more aggressive and strike some of these units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So probably gonna strafe that infantry unit there. Don't think there's anything nearby to threaten it. But I probably just want to keep the artillery safe from the tanks. That's probably why the positioning was right there. Command tank now range artillery, but it'll be a 4 health artillery. And here gets hit there. This war tank is out of ammo, and the rig is way down south, so the war tank will need to move down here so the rig can meet up with it. Let's also load up with a unit. Bomber, rig, base skip. Mech does strike the war tank. Good hit there. Oh, the war tank is on the city for resupply. Good catch there. It's somewhat hard to see because this covers up the entire tile pretty much. My bad. So it's now at full resupply. It does get 2% health healed up, as well as get refueled while at it. And it looks like starts to forward 44 energy. Make that 48 energy. Here, tank battlecopter. Good strike there. Picks up the tank. Artillery strike there. Does get a good strike there on the mech. Inktank spends a turn to get out 1 health mech. Maybe not the greatest spot there. It's relatively slow units, so maybe push forward would have been a little bit better. Either way, right now has 119, make that 135 versus 160, so only about a turn behind at the moment. Cyrus may get his superpower this turn, though he did actually get knocked out that turn, never mind. Mech does get on a good spot to just block progress, but the artillery can take it out. I'm also a little bit tired right now. That's definitely my last replay tonight. Having trouble focusing right now, but does get some infantry push forward. Cyrus making very good gains down south. Has a lot of artillery, tanks, of course a war tank a little bit lagging behind. And for some properties, Cyrus had 27,000 versus 21,000, so has a sizable income lead as well. Judy could try going for the HQ, but she's a little bit far away. HQ, of course, is occupied by a veteran tank. Great battle copter strikes there. We have an anti-air nearby to shoot down one aircraft. I tried to. I think I found a good pile of replays tonight. So the other two replays I didn't cast were also pretty good replays based on the surface of them. Tank, bike. Good progress up north. Dispensers have full health, 34 fuel. Could get shot there under the fighter, but may just need to sack himself on the bomber and let the fighter finish it off. Dispensers are surrounded. The veteran tank is probably going down. Judy does not have much here. Anything could push forward, but decides just to resign there. The sand grade saying, "Think Washington," and on to the next replay. And that's going to be my last replay tonight. I'm getting a little exhausted and my voice is starting to go out. So everyone,